Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Reading with Grandma. Today we are going on to an adventure all the way to Maryland. The state of Maryland is in the United States of America. And this story, called The Rescue, was based on a true story. My mother wrote the stories, as we've been reading her stories a lot lately. She wrote this story about her three brothers, Danny, Joey, and John. And this is a true story. This is something that happened to the boys in the summer when they were little. So there's a picture of the one boy and of the other one and the third. Now these are not my uncles. These are just pictures of boys that she put in there just to represent what they look like. There was three little boys. Okay, so you'll know why in a minute why it's called The Rescue. Johnny woke up early and felt the morning sun on his face. This was the first day of summer vacation. He lay there a minute, thinking about all he wanted to do. He could not wait to get dressed and tramp through the nearby woods. He wanted to leave before anyone woke up. He didn't want his little brothers, Danny and Joe, tagging along. He didn't. He just wanted to be alone just for a little while. There was no thought to the fact that before this day was over, he would think about his brothers in a whole different way. He listened for a minute. The house was quiet. He jumped out of bed, quickly gathered up his clothes, and walked softly into the bathroom. Splashing some water on his face, he hurried into his clothes and tiptoed out into the kitchen. He grabbed an apple from a bowl on the table and was just ready to open the back door when he heard his mother say, "Good morning, Johnny. Where are you off to so early?" "Just going for a walk in the woods," Johnny replied. "Well, Johnny, I was counting on you to watch your brothers while I can can those tomatoes we picked yesterday. You've got all summer to walk in the woods." "Oh, Ma," Johnny wailed. "Why can't I have some time for myself once in a while?" His mother said, "Why don't you sit down at the table and I'll fix you some pancakes before you leave." "Oh, all right," Johnny replied. "I guess I can take the little mutts along when I go on my walk." "Johnny," his mother exclaimed, "what a thing to call your brothers. They're not mutts." Johnny grinned and said, "Ah, Ma, I'm just teasing. They're pretty good. Most of the time." Johnny's mother began making the pancakes. She asked Johnny if he would set the table and get the jelly, butter, and syrup out. Soon, Joe and Danny came racing to the kitchen, shouting in chorus, "What's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? We're starving." "Already?" their mother replied. "You hardly have been up 2 minutes and you're starving? Did you boys wash your hands and face?" "Gee whiz, why do I have to wash up? I couldn't have gotten dirty while I was sleeping," Danny replied. "Never mind grumbling, just get washed up. The pancakes will be ready soon." The boys raced off while Mama made the pancakes. Johnny set the jam, butter, and syrup on the table. A few minutes later, Danny and Joe returned and flopped down in their chairs, ready to tackle a stack of hotcakes. They especially liked pancakes, because Mama made them in such fun shapes. Cats, hearts, sometimes even cows. As soon as they finished breakfast, out the door they went, hurrying to their favorite spots in the woods. It was just a short way down the road. There was a small stream where they liked to go wading. As soon as they reached the stream, they kicked off their shoes and jumped into the water, sending it splashing around their ankles. Already the day was hot, so it felt good on their feet. Beside the stream was a large tree. It had long, thick vines hanging from it. The boys loved to swing across the stream and drop into the water. During normal times, the stream was shallow, a small branch of the Potomac River, and ran clean and clear. But during rainstorms, it was a raging torrent of red, muddy water and was to be avoided. Johnny got to the tree before the others. He was swinging leisurely back and forth across the stream. He happened to look down at the water as he swung across, and he saw a large snake slithering through the stream. It looked very much like a water moccasin. It was headed straight for Joe. Joe didn't see it because he was facing the other way, lost in thought. Danny also had his back to the stream and did not see what was happening. Johnny thought, "I have to get Joe out of the water quick." He didn't know whether snakes could bite in the water, but he wasn't taking any chances on finding out. Water moccasins are one of the most poisonous snakes there are around, and their venom is very deadly. All he could think of was getting Joe out of the water. As he started back across the stream, he yelled to Joe, "Lift your arms up as I swing across and I'll pull you up with me." Joe looked up and, thinking this was a new game, raised his arms above his head. Johnny held on tight to the vine with one hand, reached down and grabbed Joe's arm with his free hand. "Grab onto my arm and hold on tight, Joe," Johnny shouted. Johnny started to swing back across the stream. He felt Joe grab onto his free arm with both hands. It was hard to hold on, but Johnny kept his arms straight, hoping Joe could keep a grip. Then, in a tangle of arms and legs, they both tumbled into the sand. They were safe and didn't appear to be hurt. It took a few seconds for them to catch their breath. They stared, laughing. Joe thought their swing across the stream was a lot of fun. Their laughter brought Danny over to where they stood, and he asked what was so funny. As they got to their feet, Johnny looked into the water. The snake was still moving through the stream. Johnny touched Joe's arm and pointed to the snake. "That's why I snatched you out of the water, Joe." "Wow," Joe said in awe. Then, looking up at Johnny, Joe replied, "Thanks for getting me out of there." The boys decided they had had enough excitement for one morning. They were a little shaky from such a near miss. Danny, who had been looking for worms, caught up with them and found out what had happened to them. When they got home, Joey ran straight to his mother and told her about their adventure. At first she thought they were playing a joke, but then they persisted, and she looked at Johnny and Joey and said, "That must have been a very scary time for you both. I'm very grateful it turned out all right. I hope you boys will watch more carefully when you go wading again." "Don't worry, Mama," the boys chorused together. "We will be extra careful from now on." That night at supper, Dad and the other children were filled in on the rescue. Johnny was proud that he had saved his brother, and they all cheered and said how Johnny's bravery and quick thinking probably saved his brother from a nasty snake bite. They all seemed glad that everything turned out as well as it did and no one was hurt. It turned out to be a happy night for everyone. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed the story of the rescue. Leave a comment below if you like and tell me what you thought about it. And if there's any special book you would like to hear, leave that in the comment as well. And remember, every time you open a book, you go on an adventure. So you all have a great day. Ring the bell to be notified when I read more. And hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already. And have a super great adventure. Bye.